I don't know if it's recording. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. It's recording. Okay. Hit it, Steve. Welcome to the fourth installment of Lord of the Momos cast. And first of all, I want to thank you if you've made it this far to episode number 4. More than thankful for your encouragement. There are reviews, there are people liking, subscribing. So I'm very, very thankful and humbled by this experience so far. I want to welcome you to tonight's show. Today is going to be a one-on-one. Today is going to be one of those where you'll get to know me a little bit better. Today it'll be one of those where maybe you'll get to pick my brain, maybe you'll get to see different things. So, welcome. Also, I have a special giveaway for everyone following, for everyone that's listening who's made it this far. Stay tuned for the instructions and how you can win a nice Amazon gift card. Alright, let's get started. First of all, how are you tonight? How was your day? Did you have a tough one? Was it an easy one? Tell me all about it. I hope your day was just as amazing as mine was. I know it's a little bit silly to start an episode about myself asking things about you, but something that I want to try, something that I've been trying with my posts, trying to be a little bit more positive with people, because I don't know the day that you're having. I don't know the type of encouragement that you're getting at home, but why not be positive with people? Why not talk to someone and let them know, hey, you matter. Hope you're having a great day today, and hopefully you know that you're loved and many people care about you. So let me start the episode by letting you know that you matter, you're loved, you're smart, and fuck what everybody else thinks. Now, today I want to talk to you guys about fears and how they can affect us directly and those we love indirectly, and what I've done personally to kind of overcome those fears. Now, I'm going to talk about, deep fears, I suppose, but also silly fears. For example, I want to start the episode here with my fear of birds, known as ornithophobia. It is pretty common. I believe about 10% of the population or something around there has it. And what it is just a irrational fear of birds or bird-like creatures. And I cannot put a pin on exactly when it happened, but as far as I can remember, I've always been afraid of birds. Ever since I can remember, just the thought of it, just the thought of a bird in the beak and the feathers and the claws, and just the way that its feet go from scales to feathers, just there's something about it that doesn't connect or click right with me, and maybe that's why I just don't mess with it. By the way, I am recording this at Santa Ana College, killing time before I go into my class, so pardon the noise, but screw it. It adds a little bit more of a live feeling, as I'm always on the street, which puts me face to face with birds. As we all know, there are pigeons everywhere. There are seagulls here on the coast where we live in California, and definitely crows, and along with other wildlife that you see throughout Orange County. You would think that I would not come out of my house. There's birds everywhere. However, I've learned to deal with it in a little bit of a curious way. I've learned to ignore, but understand that they are more afraid of me than they are of them. As well as trying to learn as much as I can about birds. For example, I've learned to recognize a lot of birds to the point where you might think I'm a bird watcher, someone that actually enjoys birds, but that's unfortunately not the case. I despise them and I'm very afraid of them. But in the military, I learned you gotta learn your enemy. You gotta study your enemy. So I study what birds are native to this area, a little bit about how they behave, but most importantly, how they live. So if I'm approaching their home and they're nesting, they're going to be more violent towards me, so I would go ahead and try and avoid the area. If it's pigeons, I know they're more afraid of me than I am of them, so I can almost calmly walk through a plaza or through a square and shoo those pigeons away. One of the biggest challenges are big birds, for example, crows or seagulls, because they're a little bit more aggressive. They're a little bit more on your face. So those seems to be a little bit more of a challenge when it comes down to getting over birds or trying to be okay. Now, it's happened before that I've been, at a restaurant on the outside seating or whatever, and a tiny little bird will either land on the table or, go under the table looking for scraps, and I will a little bit freak out. It seems irrational, but I can't compare it to someone that doesn't like mice, someone that doesn't like insects, different things, or clowns. I can deal with those. I can handle snakes. I can, grab a mouse, different things, and it doesn't affect me the way that a bird just fucks me up mentally. So I think we all have our specific fears, and in my case, I think it's a little bit of a primitive fear when seeing an animal that's capable of so many things without possible thumbs or really arms. I mean, they can fly for sure, and that's an advantage over us, but at the same time, they're able to build homes regardless of the bird that you're talking about. They are able to build a nest and construct things out of that. So that's pretty amazing. And I want to know your fears. Give me a comment. Let me know in the comment section, what are your fears? Do you have an irrational fear that sometimes people think it's silly? Are you like a cat and are scared of cucumbers? Are you afraid of clowns, which is one of the most common fears that are out there? Let me know. Leave me a comment in the comment section there and let me know what your fear is. Also, I believe that my fear is getting better. I plan on going to the Aquarium of the Pacific here in Long Beach, California, and they have an exhibit where you can walk into this exhibit, interact with the birds that are there and feed them. And that sounds terrifying. That sounds like torture to me, but I want to do it because I want to get over my fear, and maybe that's something that will either scar me for life and reaffirm my fear, or will help me move past that. So time will tell, and also hopefully my fight or flight reflex doesn't kick in a negative way. So I'll keep you posted and I'll let you know. But so far so good. Birds will not conquer me. All right, before we go into the last part of the episode here, I want to reward you for listening to 4 episodes of Lord of the Momos cast. And if you made it at least halfway through the 4th one, I want to reward you. So I'm going to hold a little giveaway. From here on out, whoever makes the most postings, actually, sorry about that, not the most postings, whoever repost one of my pictures with the hashtag Lord of the Momos in there and gets the most likes, I will go ahead and gift them a $20 Amazon gift certificate or gift card, as you kids call it today. So please go ahead and participate. I want to reward you for being a good listener, and make sure that the hashtag is is there, Lord of the Momos, and I will go ahead and keep an eye on it. Winners will be announced next Tuesday when the next podcast is released. So, good luck. Fear is something that we all live with. Fear is something that comes naturally. Whenever someone tells me that they're not afraid, I know that they're lying. Because you have to be afraid of something at some point in your life. Otherwise, you don't learn how to avoid making mistakes. Otherwise, you avoid learning what it takes not to make that mistake. Because if you don't have fear, you are lacking that common sense. That common sense that tells you not to do something. Because you know that because there's a basic primal instinct that tells you no, you know that you won't do it. But I think, that there are deeper fears that sometimes strike us harder than a fear of birds or a clown or something like that. I'm talking about emotions, feelings, ideas. For example, one of my biggest fears is to be alone. I pride myself in saying that I am an independent and saying that I am able to be completely independent from people, but at the same time, I don't like being alone. And just thinking that I could be alone without my family, without my friends, it's a pretty big fear. A little bit irrational because I know that I will always have my family and some of my friends, but it's just a thought. It's just something that came to mind. One of the things that makes me feel that way is the world in which we live in right now. The world that is developing around us is not one that's all that welcoming. It's not a world that's all that special anymore. And I feel that family values and the fabric that puts families together and communities together is falling apart. Families are dismantling, friendships are ending, and that fear is becoming more and more real. Hence the need for me to be a little bit more proactive and spend more time with my family, spend more time with my brother, and getting to know my cousins, my family, people that I know, but I really don't know. Also, another fear is the fear of not being loved. And I know these two are very selfish fears, but who wants to be alone to the point where it's just you? And I guess it fits some people. There are loners out there that enjoy that. I enjoy my time and my privacy, but I need that connection with someone. So, also, when I got out of the military, I was pretty paranoid. I was a little bit anxious about things, and it's not like I was waiting for the enemy to pop up and just start shooting, but it was just a fear of not knowing what to expect. I had been gone from California for a couple of years, and coming back, it was a little bit shocking, especially coming back to quote unquote civilian life. That has to be one of the toughest things to experience. Coming back and always having to look out for the exit, going to a movie theater and coming up with an exit plan, always being on my toes about people behind me. And that fear, it wasn't from anyone in particular or anything. It was just constant fear, constant anxiety of expectations. And it wasn't until I talked to my friends and some specialists that, PTSD is a real thing. But acknowledging that this shadow or this feeling that caused me fear is all in my head and just a matter of my circumstances, then it makes me appreciate the tools given to me to make better decisions, and it makes me appreciate those who are with me, helping me make those decisions as well. Living with fear is just something that we all have to deal with, whether it is fear of speaking in public, fear of asking your crush out on a date, or in my case, fear of birds. The brain is such a powerful organ that it controls our emotions, our feelings, our movements, but yet it allows us to experience things and to keep record of good experiences and bad experiences. And our subconscious goes and puts those two together so that the next time something negative happens, it's going to relate it as a fear or as a trigger not to be or let that happen again. And I think that's very powerful, especially when they say, yes, the body's strong, but the mind, it is stronger. It controls the body. And when you look at all these athletes and you look at all these people who have made successful recoveries, you ask them why or how they did it, and they'll tell you, I just put my mind to it. And I think that putting your mind to it, putting a plan or having a goal, in my case, a goal to touch a little bird this year, or my goal to grow a stronger relationship with my friends and family so that I don't end up alone. The best way to fight fear is with action. And like FDR said, the only thing to fear, it's fear itself. So hopefully today you decide to stop fearing. Hopefully today you decide to be yourself. And hopefully you get to accomplish and achieve anything you want. Let me know in the comments, what are your fears? What are the things that scare you the most? Whether they're real, fantasy, or feelings, or abstract concepts. Let me know. Thank you so much for your time. We'll go ahead and move on to the next bit here. And I just wanted to thank you for your time. And let's go ahead and put the closing statements on this. Bye.